If global warming is real, then why did we have such a cold winter? Is global warming caused by people? What is global warming? Are we gonna get warmer winters in Scotland?
What is the climate? Is the climate weather? Should I be worried about climate change? Is it even caused by people? What can I do to stop climate change? Am I going to be flooded? Is this a real problem? I'm freaking out here.
Welcome to Science with Steph, the show where I think way too much about the world around us and then share the best bits with you guys. This week, I am demystifying the climate. Here in Scotland, we have had a crazy couple of seasons with our first ever red warning for snow, and now we've had nice, warm, sunny weather for like 6 days in a row. That's unheard of. Everyone's currently like, sunset, capsa! But I must say this, climate is not the weather. Climate is a way of describing global trends and patterns. It measures percentages of gases in the atmosphere and big weather systems. The weather, on the other hand, is determined by the climate, but is not the climate. Saying the two are the same is kind of like saying that math is just adding numbers. You use math to add numbers, but there's a lot more to it than that. Steph, stop making math analogies. Nobody likes them and nobody cares. You're right. So what do people mean when they talk about climate change? And how does this affect you or me personally? Well, let's take a look at our planet. Sunlight reaches us here at Earth, is absorbed by the planet and then radiated back out as heat energy or infrared rays. Our atmosphere, which is mostly nitrogen and oxygen, would just let most of this heat out in the same way that it lets the light in. However, when you add too much carbon dioxide into the mix, these molecules absorb that heat energy and trap it in our atmosphere and then radiating that back to our Earth, warming the atmosphere and warming the planet. The temperature rises we've seen in the past 50 years have been caused directly by the increased carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. And this is mostly in part due to human activity. That's burning coal for energy, using fuel in cars and planes, and other types of heavy-duty industries and transport. Unsurprisingly, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has been increasing dramatically since we started putting it there. This is what's causing the planet to warm. In fact, average global temperatures have already increased by nearly 1 degree in the past 50 years. This might not sound like much, but to put it into perspective, the last ice age was caused by just a 6-degree drop in temperature. A warmer planet doesn't necessarily mean us sun-deprived Scots get warmer summers. Wait, what? What it means is warmer oceans which expand and cause more flooding. What it means is hurricanes get bigger or stronger because of the increased energy and moisture. More energy means more variability, making the seasons and rainfall less predictable. This leads to increased droughts in some areas and increased flooding in others. Do you know what the worst part of all of this is? Is that the richer countries who cause the most damage are the most resilient and able to cope with that damage that they caused. It's the poor countries that are affected the most, they're the least resilient to climate change, often rely on a predictable climate the most, and they're not even the ones to have caused climate change in the first place. In short, what it means is climate chaos. Chaos? Everyone start panicking now! Everyone start panicking! Hold on. Don't lose your butts just yet. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be talking a fair bit about climate and solutions. The best thing you can do for yourself and the planet is to know the facts. And don't get swayed by anything alternative to that. So, stay tuned for next week's episode on some climate tranquility. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Science with Steph. If you have any science-related questions, please leave them in the comments section down below. I would also love to hear your thoughts or suggestions or any corrections you might have. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to see some more, my last video is here, or I'd really hope you'd consider subscribing by clicking here. Alright, that's all. Thanks. Bye.